Happy Halloween! The full moon was at 10:49 a.m. today, and I slept in, which was very much appreciated. I'm taking this coming week off. It's supposed to be strangely warm this week, which is great. I'll take it. Because that is a good time to have off. Traditionally, Samhain, which is now known generally as Halloween, in the US at least, has been known as the last day you're ever supposed to harvest in certain countries in Europe. I do not subscribe to that because my garden sure keeps producing like crazy, and anywhere more southerly or otherwise warmer of a climate than mine would continue to produce even more so than mine. So I think that's a very climate specific tradition that really doesn't apply to me at all, or anyone that has, I mean, even wild edibles up north in Canada, zone 4. She keeps harvesting all winter, and it's already below freezing on the consistent for her. So I think it's better to keep going. Make sure the animals aren't hungry too, right? I think that's a better honoring of the natural systems. I'm still getting a lot of raspberries, but as far as what I've grown, a lot of it is done. The apples are still finishing up, which are here in this tree right there. This is tea this time. See the little green polka dots? And then, you know, growing perennials, they don't need as rich a soil. And before I had the quail, I wasn't doing as good at enriching my soil as I should. And so now that I have better compost enrichment options, like you see they're lined up over top of the most recent compost, for example, the roosters are, I think I can better amend my soil. I've been utilizing a lot of my compost to make soil that goes in the pots, but this year, what with 2020 being what it is, I have not had as many sales, not by a long shot. So that leaves me with the option of having some extra. And I want to show you how my rutabaga did. I've tried rutabaga now 2 years in a row. They're supposed to be able to overwinter. I don't know what's going on with the car horn and everything. I apologize for whatever weird noise that is. But yeah, this is all that my rutabaga, this is the biggest one. There's one there that has almost nothing. There's one here that also has almost nothing. Oh, this might be the biggest one right here. See, that's also almost nothing. Now, my understanding was that if they can overwinter, rutabaga can self-sow and perpetuate themselves. The trouble is, I don't seem to have the soil for healthy rutabaga. So I think what I'm going to do here is mulch this whole section in with a bunch of compost off of the compost pile that's pretty ready. It's imperfect, but it's pretty good. And just mulch them in real good and maybe put some wood chips on top. Wood chips only steal the nitrogen from, and I do not recall the link that I got this specific statistic from, but I can try and look it up. They only steal the nitrogen from the first 3 millimeters of their contact surface. So nitrogen stealing from wood chips, you're going to run into that if you till the wood chips fresh into the soil. But if you just lay it across the top, then it's not going to impact the nitrogen availability. I think I got that from, oh no, Charles Dowding doesn't mulch with wood chips because of his slugs. I haven't had trouble with slugs and wood chips, oddly enough. Oh, there's like some big honking delivery truck. Okay, there's our explanation of all the noise. That's apparently, where are you going? Are you trying to leave? Okay, you're trying to leave. Okay. Everything's a dead end up here. So, yeah. I think it's time to amend a bunch of things. You can see here that I cleared out the area where the main wine cap installment was and added some fresh wood chips. I have left the pile of scrap from it sit there in typical fashion for me. That is very cliffside permaculture. Go ahead and take bets on how long it'll take me to clear it out. I have been so terrified of falling in this hole that I have pretty well decided that this is not going to be where my pond is going to be. So you see how narrow this walkway is now? And I can't think of a way to make this safe. So, once that pear drops its leaves, we're going to untangle it from its fence support and bring it over here. So there. And plunk it right on in and figure out what we're doing about the bucket pond, because that's not winter friendly. The pawpaws went dormant. There's a little twig in there. I added this double tier of ruined tomato circles as an additional deer browse protection because it's in a fence and should be fine, but I ran out of fencing and need to figure out when and where. There's a second pawpaw inside the circle back there. When and where I'm getting more of that because I've run out. Now the neighbor's leaf blowing. Well, you know. It's a city setting. Not much you can do. I can definitely see some frost damage back here. And you can see it most in the peppers here. I should get back here and harvest some peppers. Do you see any more wine cap? Other than the one that went all light brown and funny on me, I don't. But considering how droughty we were this year, I think getting a few, and then I might get several all winter every time it thaws. So something I put in a comment on somebody else's channel recently is an explanation of how our weather goes. So you can see we did get proper frost recently. That said, these itty bitty baby tomatoes, they're not gonna stop. They don't stop for nothing. They keep going quite a way past frost. And those are my guerrilla gardening tomatoes. I call them that because they take and get going regardless. They'll keep going. But the thing about my climate here, so I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania-ish. I mean, pretty dang close anyhow. And the thing about our climate is that it vacillates wildly all winter. And that effect will be very evident all winter. Most winters, we very rarely have a winter where it's stably cold. What happens is every time the pressure system changes, we're right on the cusp between them. And so when the pressure system changes, we have a different climate come visit us. I swear to gracious, he's moving along with me in the yard. I'm trying to not be too near the leaf blower. We'll go down the hill and get highway noise instead. It's more consistent. So North Carolina comes to visit, and then Canada comes to visit, and it never stays for more than a week. So we have high wind situations, and then it can go from -20 to 60 degrees, and that's Fahrenheit, and I looked it up. That's -28, 29 in Celsius through +15 in Celsius. And those are the changes that I see over and over all winter. It'll snow on a Wednesday and it'll be melted by Saturday. So we get our snow for like 3-4 days. I never get to cross-country ski too much anymore. I'm hoping we'll get a more stably cold winter soon. Yeah, even that isn't working. We'll see. But it doesn't seem to be what we're gonna get. We just keep getting these very, very wildly vacillating winters. So, you know, hold on to your britches for that. I will share the experience from here. The maypop's still doing really well. This is a hardy passion flower. It's its first year, so it didn't do much, but they are hardy and will continue. It probably needs fed.